In today's video, I'm super quickly going to answer some of your FAQs about ads and monetization and express a couple other thoughts, and then I promise this will go back to just completely knitting content. Welcome back to my knitting channel. My name is Nadine and you can find me at yourknittingbestie on Instagram, Ravelry, and here on YouTube. On this channel, you can expect to find me talking about my knitting from the perspective of someone who lives in hot and today rather gloomy weather. I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent with my last video where I spoke about ads and monetization and my experience doing those things here on YouTube. I don't intend to make that a kind of running topic on my channel, but there were some really consistent themes in the comments on that last video. So in particular, there were a couple FAQs that came up a lot that I ended up looking into a little bit more. And there was also some interesting information in the comments that I thought I would share more broadly with you. Thank you as well to everyone who did comment on my last video to share your thoughts. It's really valuable to me as a creator and to any other creators who might be watching this video to make sure that our content is adapted well to you. I just wanted to say as well that nothing in this video is intended to change your viewing habits. It's intended as just neutral information in response to the questions that were asked on the last video. So please don't feel any pressure at all to change what you're doing or how you watch my content in particular. So let's move on to the FAQs then. I am determined that this will be a very short, sweet video with no mid-roll ads. So let's get to it. So the first question I got asked a whole bunch was whether I get paid the same if you skip the ad. And that was a really interesting question that I actually hadn't looked into. So I ended up looking into it after I responded to all of your comments on that last video. And it seems that the answer is that you don't get paid if the viewer skips the ad. In order to get some sort of engagement with the ad, which you then get paid for, I believe you have to watch either the whole ad or the first 30 seconds of the ad if it's a longer one. So that's quite interesting. I actually had no idea, and have to say, when I watch other creators on YouTube, I would almost always skip the ads because they're ads. But now I know that, perhaps I'll take that into account. But yeah, so that was a really interesting point of information. The second question was if you're a premium YouTuber, is that how you say that? If you have a YouTube premium subscription and you don't see ads, do creators still get an incentive when you watch their videos? And I knew that the answer was yes, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how it was allocated. So after doing a little bit of research, it seems that a portion of your YouTube premium payment is allocated amongst all of the creators that you watch. So apparently, according to the articles I was reading, the creators don't get as much of an incentive when you watch their videos, but there certainly still is an incentive. So I got up my little analytics page so I could tell you exactly what I get from watch page ads from normal YouTube viewers and from YouTube premium viewers. So I'll pop up the little thing on the screen. So in the last 28 days, you can see that I've posted 2 videos. That's where those 2 spikes are. And the total estimated revenue from the last 28 days is $183.30. So you can see that 94.4% came from watch page ads, so $173. And from YouTube Premium, it was $10.27, or 5.6%. So I don't actually know what percentage of my viewers have YouTube Premium. So it could just be that a small amount of my viewership has YouTube Premium, which is why it's a lower percentage of my earnings. or it could be a reflection of how the YouTube premium percentage or the YouTube premium fee that you pay is allocated amongst a great number of creators. So each person gets a smaller share. So moving on then to just your general views on YouTube ads. And I found this super helpful. So after having read your comments, I think it's fair to say that the majority of you see YouTube ads as a necessary evil, which is probably how I see it as well, particularly when I was just watching other creators rather than creating my own content. It seems that about 2 ads a video is around acceptable. So maybe one ad to every 10 or 15 minutes would be okay. But you really don't like it, of course, when it's right in the middle of someone making a point, which I totally understand. Another interesting point is, so on the last video, I deliberately put in only 2 ad breaks, and that still didn't necessarily mean that each of you only saw 2 ads. So when I was going through the comments, many of you helpfully said how many ads were presented in the video. And from what I can see, there was between 1 to 4 ads for viewers. So I think that makes sense, because when I went into the little page where you can delete ad breaks, there was a little disclaimer that said, having an ad break doesn't necessarily mean that an ad will show for the viewer. And it seems that the number of ads per break is also something that YouTube controls that we don't have any control over. And unfortunately, we also can't control how many will be shown before you can skip. So that seems to be something that is just completely controlled by the YouTube algorithm in its almighty kind of discretion. And yeah, unfortunately, something that we don't have control over. For me personally, I'm going to stick to only 2 ads per video unless it's really long. And if it's a short one like this, hopefully is, then I just won't put ads in the middle of the video. And I then can't control whether ads show at the beginning or the end. That's just part of the whole YouTube experience. As for kind of bespoke or sponsored ads, they seem to be quite divisive, which was, again, really interesting. So some of you completely don't mind if a YouTuber shows a bespoke ad at the start of their video, but preferably it would be something that is, related to knitting and provides a genuine review of the product, which makes a lot of sense. It's kind of a value proposition, isn't it? You want your creator to be giving some sort of valuable insight instead of just flogging a product. On balance, I think it seems that the majority of you would be fine with a bespoke ad. Some of you would watch it. Most of you would skip it, and a very small amount of you might unfollow. So it's something to really take into consideration, because I have to say, I actually started having a conversation with a potential sponsor after posting that last video and seeing your responses to get a bit more information about what the process would be like. And my suspicions that what you would get paid for an ad would exceed what you get from ad revenue is, I think, correct. So I'm sure the prices will vary, and I don't think I'm permitted to disclose the amount that this sponsor was willing to pay. So the only thing I've done so far is to engage with this sponsor and basically ask them a whole range of questions along the lines of, I would like to try the product first. I'm not guaranteeing that I'll do a review. You have to be comfortable with the fact that what I say on my channel would be a completely honest, unvarnished review of your product. And this particular sponsor was happy with all of those caveats and kind of said, yes, that's actually what we're hoping for. So they must be quite confident in their product. But anyway, so it's a bit of an adventure, but if I were to do this sponsorship, then that sponsorship would cover the cost of a new camera, which I've had my eye on, which would, I think, improve the quality of my videos. So there's obviously a bit of tension there, because I don't want any of you to unsubscribe. I don't want you to be bored by my content, but I hope that maybe if I could do this sponsorship in a way that provides value by offering a genuine review and my genuine thoughts, then maybe that would be a happy medium. And my final thoughts, just to wrap things up in a bow, after having looked into all of this and looked at the numbers a little more closely, I think that if you were just putting out content on YouTube, you have to accept that you're not going to make a living from it. Unless perhaps you're one of the really big knitting influencers. But if it were me, and if I were looking to make this kind of platform or my engagement in the knitting community a viable financial prospect, you would have to complement it with other services. So you would use your YouTube platform to cultivate some sort of following, and then you would try and offer a service that has some value. So you could offer, of course, patterns. So kind of like the Craya Bear does. Her podcast is not only awesome, but her patterns are genuinely great. And that's something that she could use as another avenue stream. Alternatively, of course, if you're a knitting YouTuber, you could do the bespoke ads, but it seems like they're just not overwhelmingly well received by viewers, unless perhaps there's some value in there. So for me, I'm going to do them extremely rarely, and only when it's a product that I genuinely want to try and can genuinely review honestly. Other things, of course, affiliate links and things like that. The views that I seem to have gathered are that, similar to bespoke ads, if they're products that the podcaster genuinely likes and uses, then they're happy to have the recommendation and not put out by the idea of you getting an incentive from them purchasing it. I think it's again just when you're kind of flogging products that's not well received. So yeah, I think that's all of my final thoughts. Hopefully this is a nice quick video, and I've got some good knitting topics lined up for the next handful of videos, which hopefully I will get to record before this baby comes. And I'll find the energy for it somewhere, because I have to admit, getting out of bed and walking to the kitchen is exhausting me at the minute. But we'll see what I can do. So thank you again for watching. If you liked the video, it would be terrific if you would give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, it would be terrific if you would consider subscribing so you can see my future videos. So thanks again, guys, and I will talk to you in the next video.